Hello, friends. Welcome to Old Coins News. Today we will explore rare and historic U.S. coins and their fascinating stories. Let's get started. The 1943 United States 5-cent coin, commonly referred to as a Monticello nickel, represents one of the most iconic designs in American numismatics. Minted at the Philadelphia Mint, denoted by the P mark, this coin is part of the series honoring Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States and principal author of the Declaration of Independence. The obverse features a detailed portrait of Jefferson facing left, designed by sculptor Felix Schlag, whose design won a national competition in 1938 and was first issued in 1938. Surrounding Jefferson's profile are the inscriptions "In God We Trust" above, emphasizing the nation's religious heritage, "Liberty" to the left, reflecting the enduring American principle of freedom, and the date 1943 to the right, indicating the year minting. The design captures Jefferson's thoughtful demeanor and has become one of the most recognized portraits on U.S. coinage. On the reverse side, the coin displays a detailed depiction of Monticello, Jefferson's Virginia state and architectural masterpiece, which has long symbolized both Jefferson's personal achievements and the broader American ideals of ingenuity and self-reliance. Above Monticello is the national motto E Pluribus Unum, meaning out of many, one, a reference to the unity of the United States. The denomination 5 cent is prominently displayed below the building, and United States of America arches above, asserting the authority and identity of the nation. Schlag's reverse design is appreciative with precise architectural detail, symmetry, and clarity, capturing both the historical importance of Monticello and the elegance of Jefferson's vision for a young republic. Collectors often note the sharpness of the columns, roofline, and surrounding landscaping as key factors in grading and valuation. The 1943 Monticello nickel was minted during a unique and challenging period in American history. The United States was deeply involved in World War II, which influenced coinage materials and production practices. While the 5-cent coin's composition remained primarily 75% copper and 25% nickel, unlike the wartime steel pennies, the minting process had to accommodate higher production quotas and maintain quality despite wartime pressures. The coin has a diameter of 21.21 millimeters, a thickness of 1.95 millimeters, and a weight of 5.0 grams, dimensions that remain consistent with the Jefferson nickel series. The use of nickel, a strategic metal at the time, ensured durability and a distinct silvery appearance, distinguishing from a bronze cent circulating alongside it. Historically, the Monticello nickel holds a deep symbolic significance beyond its monetary value. Thomas Jefferson, a founding father, statesman, and advocate for liberty, is immortalized on this coin, linking everyday currency to the nation's intellectual and political heritage. The inscriptions "In God We Trust" and E Pluribus Unum reinforce national ideals, reminding users of the coin of the unity, faith, and philosophical foundations of the United States. Unlike earlier nickels featuring allegorical figures, the Monticello nickel directly celebrates an American leader whose influence shaped both the country's founding principles and its vision of civic virtue. The Monticello building itself is emblematic of Jefferson's devotion to architecture, education, and agricultural experimentation, making the coin a miniature tribute to his multifaceted legacy. From a numismatic perspective, the 1943 P nickel is particularly interesting because it is part of a series minted in high volumes for circulation, yet still retains collectible appeal. Philadelphia Mint coins from this year are relatively abundant, but condition plays a crucial role in value. Coins with uncirculated surfaces, strong luster, and sharp relief on Jefferson's hair and Monticello's architectural details are highly prized. Subtle variations, including die scratches, small planchet flaws, or minor striking differences, can also influence collectability. For advanced collectors, provenance and historical context enhance the coin's appeal, as these nickels were widely used in everyday commerce during a tumultuous period in global history. They facilitated transactions in grocery stores, public transportation, and other essential wartime industries, embedding themselves into the daily lives of Americans and making them a tangible link to the past. Culturally, the 1943 Monticello nickel embodies both practical and symbolic dimensions. Its circulation during World War II reflects the resilience of the American economy and the continuity of civic life amidst global conflict. Jefferson's visage and the Monticello design offered a sense of stability and historical continuity, reminding citizens of the country's foundational ideals even in uncertain times. Modern collectors value these coins not only for their aesthetic and historical significance, but also for their role as witnesses to everyday life in 1940s America. Collectors often seek well-preserved examples for display, educational purposes, and investment, noting that coins in mint state, MS 60 to 70 condition can command significant premiums, especially when preserved without environmental wear or corrosion. In conclusion, the 1943 United States Monticello 5-cent coin, P-Mint, is a remarkable artifact that combines artistry, history, and national symbolism. From the meticulous portrait of Thomas Jefferson on the obverse to the precise architectural depiction of Monticello on the reverse, it captures the essence of American values, heritage, and ingenuity. Its inscriptions, "In God We Trust," "Liberty," and "E Pluribus Unum," reinforce the moral and political ideals central to the nation's identity. Minted during a pivotal era in world history, the coin's durable copper-nickel composition, balanced design, and historical context make an enduring piece of U.S. numismatic history. Whether valued for its collectability, its connection to Jeffersonian legacy, or its role as a witness to American life during World War II, the 1943 Monticello nickel continues to be an essential and cherished component of coin collections worldwide. Its combination of accessibility, historical depth, and visual appeal ensures that it remains a favorite among collectors, historians, and enthusiasts alike. The 1956 Lincoln 1-cent coin, commonly called a wheat penny, represents a classic and enduring chapter in the long history of United States coinage. First introduced in 1909, the Lincoln cent was the first regular U.S. circulating coin to feature an American president, honoring Abraham Lincoln on the 100th anniversary of his birth. The obverse front of the coin presents a right-facing bust of Lincoln, flanked by 3 key inscriptions. Above his head, the enduring national motto, "In God We Trust." To the left, the fundamental value word, "Liberty." And to the right, the date 1956, often accompanied by a mint mark below indicating where it was struck. Early pennies used this motto on coinage decade prior, and its appearance here continues that tradition of expressing trust and unity on everyday money. On the reverse back design, the coin bears 2 stylized ears of wheat framing the inscriptions 1 cent and United States of America, and above them a Latin phrase, "E Pluribus Unum," meaning out of many, one, summarizing the unity of the nation through its diverse peoples and states. This wheated design remained standard on Lincoln cents from 1909 until 1958, giving the issue an iconic visual identity beloved by generations of collectors. Rarest.org. In 1956, the U.S. Mint produced the Lincoln cent in high volume at 2 facilities. The Philadelphia Mint, no mint mark, struck approximately 420,745,000 coins, while the Denver Mint, identified by a small d mint mark under the date, produced a much larger total of 1,098,201,100 coins. No Lincoln cents were struck at the San Francisco Mint in this year's regular business strikes. In addition to these business issues, the Philadelphia Mint also struck around 669,384 proof coins, special collector pieces with deeply mirrored fields and shop details, intended for sets and collectors rather than circulation. Numismatics 101+1. Physically, the 1956 penny conforms to the specifications of mid-20th century Lincoln cents. It is composed of 95% copper with 5% tin and zinc, weighs about 3.11 grams, and has a diameter of 19.05 millimeters with a smooth, plain edge. New coins originally displayed a rich reddish copper color, but decades of circulation can turn them into various shades of brown, red-brown, or even darker tones, depending on environmental exposure. Antiques know-how. Most 1956 pennies entered everyday commerce, passing through the hands of millions of Americans in day-to-day transactions, and as a result, the overwhelming majority of surviving examples show some degree of wear. In numismatics, a coin's condition, or grade, is the single most important factor in determining its value. In worn, circulated grades such as good G, very good VG, and fine F, much of the original detail on Lincoln's portrait and the wheat stalks is flattened from wear, and these coins typically trade for just a few cents to, at most, a couple dollars among collectors because they remain common and show heavy signs of use. But as the grade rises into extremely fine EF, almost uncirculated AU, and then mint state MS levels, the coins become significantly rarer and much more desirable. High-grade mint state examples retain their original surface luster and sharp detail, with strong definition in Lincoln's hair and coat and crisp lettering on both sides. These traits attract collector interest and can command serious premiums above their face value. Rarest.org. Damage and post-mint problems, such as deep scratches, dents, rim nicks, corrosion spots, chemical toning from improper storage, or evidence of cleaning, dramatically influence a coin's collector value. Damaged coins, even if they retain some original detail, are almost always valued lower than equivalent coins without problems, because collectors and grading services see damage as a loss of historical original surface integrity. For example, a 1956 penny with a deep scratch across Lincoln's cheek or significant corrosion pitting will attract little collector interest and might be worth little more than face value or its copper content, whereas a clean, unblemished example in similar grade would sell for several times more. Collectors generally discount coins with artificial toning or cleaning hairlines because these alter the original mint finish and surface chemistry, making them less appealing than untouched examples. Reddit. Numerous values guides and price charts illustrate how price changes with grade and mint mark. In typical circulated condition without major issues, both Philadelphia and Denver 1956 pennies often trade for just above face value, perhaps 1 to 5 cents, because of their large mintages and common survival. Well-preserved uncirculated examples, mint state MS-60, MS-63, from either mint can be worth a few dollars, while more attractive examples graded MS-65 and above, especially in red color, the original bright copper, bring higher collector interest. Some high-grade uncirculated 1956 cents, particularly with original red color and exceptional eye appeal, can sell for prices in the tens or even low hundreds of dollars. Proof examples, struck for collectors with sharply mirrored fields, also have value above business strikes, especially at higher proof grades. Rarest.org+1. Beyond ordinary grading, errors and varieties, coins struck incorrectly or with distinctive anomalies sometimes carry extra numismatic value, though true mint errors are much rarer than many online listings might suggest. A known variety for the 1956 Denver issue is the so-called D above shadow D repunch mint mark, where a faint double D appears on the primary mint mark due to die misalignment. This variety can attract modest premiums when well struck and appealing. Other genuine mint errors include off-center strikes, where the design is shifted, doubled dies, and in rare cases planchet anomalies, each of which must meet specific criteria to be considered collectible. However, many suppose errors discussed casually by collectors, such as letters appearing close to the rim, are simply normal where patterns or minor striking variations and do not inherently add significant value unless verified by professional graders as true mint errors. UsaCoinBook.com+1. In the world market, a typical 1956 Lincoln wheat penny in average circulation, even with light wear, remains common and inexpensive because of its huge original mintage and the fact that millions survive today. However, the coin's value can rise significantly with condition and rarity. Well-graded uncirculated examples in deep red color, especially from the Philadelphia issue or from Denver with strong surfaces and under favorable market conditions, can bring values that go far beyond what one might expect for a 1-cent piece. Collectors also prize proof examples and unusual authentic mint era coins from 1956, while rare, command particular attention at auctions and among specialist collectors. Rarest.org+1. Ultimately, the story of the 1956 Lincoln penny, with familiar inscription United States of America, E pluribus unum, in God we trust, liberty, and the date is much more than its face value. It evokes decades of American commerce, everyday life, and the growth of coin collecting as a hobby and field of historical preservation. For many collectors, securing a high-grade 1956 cent with original surfaces and minimal damage represents both an attainable goal and a tangible link to mid-20th century United States history. Rarest.org. The 1878 United States 1-cent coin, commonly referred to as the Indian head cent, is one of the most iconic and historically significant coins in American numismatics. Minted during the post-Reconstruction era, this coin represents a period of transformation in both American society and its currency system. The Indian Head Cent series, designed by James Barton Longacre, chief engraver of the United States Mint, was first introduced in 1859 and continued until 1909. The obverse of the coin features a detailed portrait of Liberty wearing a Native American headdress, a design choice that reflects both Longacre's innovative artistry and the 19th century fascination with Native American culture. The word liberty is inscribed on the headband of the headdress, symbolizing the core American principle, while the phrase United States of America encircles the edge of the coin, asserting national authority. The date 1878 is prominently displayed at the base, marking the specific year minting. The obverse design is admired for its classical elegance, intricate details in the feathers and hair, and a balance between realism and symbolism, making it a favorite among collectors and historians alike. On the reverse side, the 1878 Indian Head Cent carries a wreath of oak and laurel leaves, encircling the coin's denomination, 1 cent, in the center. The wreath, a symbol of strength and victory, reflects both the artistic sensibilities of the era and the United States' growing national identity following the Civil War. Originally, earlier coins in the series had a simple laurel wreath, but by 1878, the wreath design had been expanded and refined to include oak leaves with acorns representing strength, endurance, and growth. This design evolution made the Indian Head Cent more visually appealing and symbolically rich. The reverse is both elegant and practical, clearly indicating the coin's value while offering a subtle tribute to the nation's resilience and ambition during the late 19th century. The composition of the 1878 Indian Head Cent reflects a transitional period in U.S. coinage. The coin is composed of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc, a change from earlier bronze formulations that included more tin. This alloy gave the coin a rich reddish-brown color, excellent durability, and resistance to wear, which is why many examples survive today in remarkable condition. The coin measures 19.05 millimeters in diameter, 1.55 millimeters thick, and weighs 3.11 grams, dimensions that became standard for the series and remain consistent for decades. The high copper content also gives the coin a distinctive patina over time, creating a visual appeal that enhances its value for collectors. The 1878 Indian Head Cent was minted during a dynamic era in American history. The United States was recovering from the aftermath of Reconstruction, experiencing rapid industrialization, westward expansion, and social transformation. Coinage during this period played a crucial role in facilitating commerce, particularly in the growing urban centers and rural communities. The Indian Head Cent, with its manageable size and durable composition, was widely used in everyday transactions, from grocery purchases and postal services to wages for laborious and small-scale trade. Despite being a small denomination, it carried significant cultural and economic weight, circulating in almost every corner of the nation. Its accessibility and ubiquity made it a familiar object for millions of Americans, embedding it deeply into the social and economic fabric of the era. From a historical perspective, the 1878 Indian Head Cent holds multiple layers of significance. The obverse depiction of Liberty with a Native American headdress symbolizes the country's complex relationship with indigenous cultures and the frontier. While the design romanticizes Native American imagery, it also serves as a testament to 19th century artistic trends and the nation's desire to forge a distinct cultural identity. The coin's inscriptions, Liberty and United States of America, reinforce national ideals and civic values, emphasizing freedom, unity, and the legitimacy of the federal government. Collectors and historians often note that the 1878 cent, like other Indian Head Cents, is not merely currency but a miniature historical document encapsulating the nation's political, social, and artistic milieu. Numismatically, the 1878 Indian Head Cent is particularly significant because it is part of a series that bridged the pre- and post-Civil War periods. While relatively common compared to some other years in the series, coins in high grades, with strong luster and sharp detail on Liberty's headdress and the reverse wreath, are highly sought after. Minor die variations, planchet flaws, or striking inconsistencies can create rarities that are prized by collectors, driving up market value. Moreover, coins that have maintained their original red color, designated as red or road by grading services, command a premium, as color retention indicates minimal circulation wear and high-quality preservation. The coin's historical context, combined with aesthetic appeal and survivability, ensures that it remains a central piece in many collections, both for beginners and seasoned numismatists. Culturally, the Indian head cent series, and the 1878 example in particular, offers insight into American identity during the late 19th century. The coin reflects an era when the United States was defining itself as a modern industrial nation, reconnecting with its historical roots, and grappling with complex social and political issues. The imagery of liberty in the Native American headdress conveys a romanticized vision of the frontier, echoing contemporary literature, art, and popular culture. Coins like the 1878 Indian head cent were not only tools of commerce, but also symbols of civic pride, national unity, and artistic expression. They were carried, saved, gifted, and sometimes hoarded, creating personal and collective histories that persist today. In conclusion, the 1878 United States 1-cent coin, or Indian head cent, embodies the intersection of artistry, history, and utility. From its meticulously crafted portrait of liberty to its symbolic reverse wreath, the coin represents a nation in transition, embracing industrial growth while honoring its ideals of liberty, strength, and unity. Its copper composition, durable design, and historical context make it both a functional piece of currency and a treasured collectible. For modern collectors, the 1878 Indian head cent offers not only aesthetic beauty and historical significance, but also a tangible connection to the lives of Americans over 140 years ago. Whether examined for its design, studied for its minting history, or preserved for collectible value, the 1878 Indian head cent remains an essential piece of American numismatic heritage, celebrated for its elegance, symbolism, and enduring appeal across generations.